So you've been playing Sacrifice Lich for a while now, and you want to change it up a little bit. Some people will say Sacrifice Lich is OP, um, Sacrifice broken. So anticipation for the nerf, I've come up with another build, which is just as quick. And what you're seeing in the background is the speedrun I did with this build from 1 to 200 in 41 minutes. It's still very fun to play. It's very fast, does a lot of damage. But the only downside is it's very glass canning. So you got to be careful about positioning and you got to know your mobs and kind of know your rotations and avoid being hit. So with that said, let's get to it. For passives, for Acolyte, 8 points in int, 8 points in damage, the rest in war gain on death, nearby death. Necromancer, you could start off 5 points in Elixir of Hunger. Um, that effect on potion use is pretty nice for sustain. I wouldn't go here early on. I'll probably put these points later. And then you go into the Lich tree. Start with 2 points for Spell Leech, and then the rest in Int and damage, increased damage. And then you should be able to get to here. Put in more Int. Then you want the cast speed, crit chance, flat damage, and then you'll increase, go up here for more cast speed, movement speed, leech, and then you go backwards. Um, you'll want to finish off crit multi, and then you could probably put in some in spell damage or put in more leech, and then the last 2 points put into increased damage here. 2% is a safe level. I think if you want to put more, it depends how you feel about playing, how comfortable you are with like a third of your health gone all the time. With enough leech, you probably don't really feel it much, so it should be fine. And that's it for the passives. Alright, for skills. Rip Blood, mainly for the additional on hit and the um, global increased damage and mana return. The main bulk of your damage is not coming from Rip Blood, it's actually coming from Bone Curse. So you want the splatters, so there's 2 additional splatters. 3 points in cast speed, 3 points in additional cast speed with some mana decrease. 2 points here, so you can get 3 points in mana returned, and then 3 points in global increased spell damage. If you're leveling, as you're leveling, you want to put this blood splatter first, then go into the cast speed. You probably don't need this in the beginning because you're not using a sorcery staff, but once you hit higher levels, you're going to want these points. Because once you use the sorcery staff, depending on the implicit you get on the sorcery staff for the increased mana, it could actually hurt your mana pretty bad if you don't have these nodes. I played around with it with and without it, and I feel like more comfortable with these 3 points here. Alright, that's for blood. Alright, for transplant, full offensive, no bone armor or anything. So obviously first start out with 1 point here and 3 points here into 3 casts of Rip Blood. And then after that, additional detonations, the area with additional detonations. And then I'll put 1 point here because it's good for snaring and it's good for kiting. For like mobs that melee and that chases you. And then fill out your cast speed and then work up to get the mana restored. Okay, so for Bone Curse, this is a version with Bone Prison. And I believe this version is better for my sacrifice build. So for those who are actually playing the sacrifice build still, I would recommend to revise the Bone Curse tree to this tree instead. So the changes that we made for Bone Curse with Bone Prison is we're going to add Delusion of Pain and Cursed Limbs loads. And we took out some of the useless nodes. Mark of Death is not really worth it. These 2 points are just total waste. It's pointless. Um, so with instead of those points, instead of those nodes, you're going to take out one more point out of the area, and you're going to take 1 point. I think I had 2 points in slow. You're going to get rid of that. That's kind of useless too for the build. So with this, you're going to have um, an additional crit, which like the Bone Curse itself does a lot of damage. Um, After I played around with it for a little bit, this is probably the optimal Bone Curse setup for Bone Prison. Um, so what this does is on top of the sacrifice, the Bone Curse also does guaranteed crit damage. So it's an additional layer of damage on all the minions that you sack. So with every minion you sack, each minion's gonna have an additional Bone Curse damage added on top of that, which is a guaranteed crit, and it crits for like 11k or something on the dummy. So um, this will be the my what I believe is the most optimal version of Bone Curse with Bone Prison. So same thing. 3 points to level, you want to put 3 points here, 3 points into Threshold, 5 points into Cursed Limbs, 1 point into Acute Infliction, and then 1 point into Illusion of Pain. And then after that, you're going to work down to get the area and then the Bone Prison. When you're leveling, I recommend don't get Bone Prison by itself. Save 2 points so that you can get Bone Prison and cooldown. That way you're not like screwed for 20 seconds per cast for like a whole level or so. Um, so wait until you get 2 points and then you get these two nodes. And then finally you get the additional health. Alright, for Bone Curse. This is the second variation without Bone Prison. This will have generally a more risk since you don't have Bone Prison to taunt for you. You gotta play, your playstyle has to be changed a little bit. You have to know the enemies, you have to know what you're doing. So it becomes a little more challenging. Well, at higher waves especially. Lower waves, it's kind of whatever. You don't really need Bone Prison for like sub 150, sub 200s, I think. So first few points, 3 points here into Iron Maiden, 3 points into the Kill Threshold, and then you want to work to get 5 points in Cursed Limbs, 1 point in Acute Infliction, and then 1 point in Illusion of Pain. You want this node. This node is the node that makes this Bone Curse hit really, really hard. And if you take this node, it adds a 6-second cooldown on Bone Curse, so you're going to need this Cursed Limbs because Cursed Limbs gives you 5-second duration for every hit that you do. It can still cast. It will still apply the Bone Curse. Sorry, it won't apply the Bone Curse effects, but it'll trigger the Bone Curse damage, right? So, like for instance, the slow won't work with the hit afterwards. It only work if you target on top of it. Similar, same to as Mark of Death, right? If you do, I have the Mark of Death node here. If Bone Curse applies Mark of Death for 2 seconds, it doesn't apply for Cursed Limbs after the on-hit effect on Bone Curse. So if I don't cast it, I've cast it here for instance, and then I start hitting, right? There's no Mark of Death. And same thing, it doesn't apply to chill, the slow either. So, however, I believe this, I haven't tested it, but I believe chill will work because it says Bone Curse has a chance to apply chill when the enemy is hit. So in this case, enemies are getting hit. In these words, it says Bone Curse only applies slow, Bone Curse only applies Mark of Death. So that's why you won't be getting these on with this Curse Limb node. For Reaper form, I have the same layout as my Sacrifice build. So just damage, um, swiftness on kill, cast speed, and then some more flat damage, necrotic damage, and reap cooldown. And finally, we have Death Seal. So Death Seal increases your damage by quite a bit, but also comes at a risk. Obviously, it removes all your ward that you generated, and I also took this node here where it makes it low life, so your health gets reduced to 33%. The reason you want this is, well, this node here takes advantage. You get 5%, you get 3%, sorry, you get 5% more damage per 3% missing health. So you have 66% missing health, and you multiply that, so it's 330% increased damage. It's increased, not more. And then you also have this node here, where when you blow 35% health, your damage is tripled, or the increased damage is tripled in this node, so it's 120% instead of 40, right? All right, so the way we're building this is we want to just do one Death Seal wave on release. So we have 2 points here for the um, larger area, 1 point on the haste after you release, and then 4 points here for the death wave hit damage per dam stack. So you can only have a maximum of 3 dam stacks, and the second description on this is, I think, is mistyped. This is dam stack per seconds plus 4. I don't know why that is, because you're not going to get 4 stacks of damned. So anyways, you get 3 stacks, right? So 3 stacks times 80 is 240, and that 240 is more damage. So it should be quite a bit, right? And then you want the 3 points here for more damage, 30%, so you can get to physical damage. You turn the Death wave to physical instead of necrotic, because everything's physical in my build. So that should be it for this Death Seal. All right, so for items, you're gonna want to prioritize getting dodge on your gear. Obviously, max out your glancing blow first, and then work on getting set dodges, dodge suffixes where you can, and then crafting, suffix to flat dodge for the pieces that you can get it at, and prefix dodge for chest piece, BP, whatever you can probably get it at. I'll do that, except for the helm. Obviously, the helm you're gonna need set glancing. Cooldown recovery is very nice for this build. Crit avoidance, and you could probably sub out if you get crit strike chance on a suffix or whatever. It's up to you, but I think you could probably leave one piece out without flat dodge. And since I have 67%, and then once you pot, you have 75% dodge. I don't feel that more flat dodge is as beneficial as another suffix that can help your DPS or crit chance. So for the weapon, spell crit chance and spell damage, and chance to chill, chance to slow, those are very nice, especially for kiting since you're ranged. Rings, set dodge, crit avoidance, dodge rating is the 3 primary, and then you have a free slot for a prefix, so it's up to you if you need a set glancing blow to top off your glancing to 100. Just put it on there. Otherwise, I'll probably just do damage, like spell damage or crit chance. Belt, standard dodge rating on potion use, flat dodge, crit avoidance, and then that last spot Last prefix, it's up to you. Again, if you need glancing blow or if you don't need glancing blow, you could put dodge or yeah, one or the other, right? Most people just put set glancing blow on the belt. Gloves, you want a crit strike chance base if you can get it nicely, nice implicit on that. Then you should try crafting it. Set glancing, set dodge, flat dodge, crit avoidance. Right. Boots, I went with Healborian because of the I didn't get a max implicit roll on here, but 15, it goes up to 15% implicit movement speed, which is nice. And then you want to get set dodge, set glancing, flat dodge, and then a T5 movement speed. T5 movement speed is very, I would say it was like one of the more important ones. So if you can get a T5 movement speed and then start crafting T5 dodge, flat dodge, and then set dodge and set glancing if you can, whatever. If you get really lucky, I mean, you just craft on those. Those are the ones I would get. And then relic, set glancing. I got crit strike multiplier because of bone curse damage always crits. So I figured that's probably the most beneficial for this build. And it dropped with a nice implicit roll, 24%. So and I crafted 25% along with a. It came with a T6 or it came with a T5 glancing blow already. So I just had to craft a crit multiplier. Um, as far as suffix goes, you don't really have much of a choice. There's no dodge that you can get on relic, so I just went with health. Um, and you probably don't need a fourth, like a secondary suffix. It'll just waste your it'll be a waste on your what is that called? Instability. So you just focus on getting a glancing blow and crit strike multiplier if you want to do it this way. Lastly, for the neck, um, flat dodge and what's it called? A prefix dodge. So you can get those two dodges, and that's what I did to get that T10. And then if you get lucky and you just work on crafting, the other prefix you want to use is word on kill. And I don't think there's anything else on the suffix that's really important. You could probably get health if you get, if you're really lucky with the drops or with the drop, then um, yeah, put that. I chose cast speed because more cast speed is always nice. It feels more fluid over crit chance um, as a base. So that's it for the items. Lastly, for the idols, um, you'll want to get, if you can, you want to get prefix damage while transformed and suffix cooldown recovery speed on transplant. If you can get 4 of these, just stack all 4 like that. Otherwise, um, I would say cooldown on transplant is really nice to have. And then you could do physical spell crit chance, or you can even do increased damage on low life during while low life. Um, it'll work since your burst damage will come from the seal, and you have it low spec for low life. So um, yeah. Um, but yeah, I would do prioritize transplant cooldown. If you get 4 perfect transplant cooldowns, it lowers down to 2.2 seconds transplant. And right now, this node right here, it's the cooldown duration is bugged as of this patch, so it's not increasing the transplant cooldown duration when you spec onto this. It should. So when it's fixed, I don't even know if this node is worth it anymore. I'll probably play around with it when they do make the change and see if it's worth it. But as of right now, you just keep it in here since the duration is not increased. All right, for the rotation, what you want to do is be in report form. Um, Bone Curse, Death Seal, Transplant into the mobs, Relief Death Seal, and then Reap Out. Generally, that transplant will kill any packs of mobs. There's mobs that you don't want to transplant into, such as the Frostworm. They will probably kill you if you can't kill them one shot. And since he's a boss mob, um, you can't kill them with one transplant, unfortunately. And also be careful about mobs that have effects on death, such as the eye spiders that blow up when they kill them. So if you transplant into the pack of that, you're gonna instantly kill yourself. All right, that wraps up for the video. Sorry if it became a little lengthy. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. And end it here with some gameplay for waves 325 through 30, and this is with the Bone Prison version of Bone Curse. All right, take care. Bye bye.
I am the Acolyte. I was raised in the city of Welrin amongst countless books and countless fools. My master was a kind man, but he was as useless as the others. My ambitions took me elsewhere, to the arts forbidden by the elders of the city. I was found out and exiled. They feared my power. I've learned so much in my travels since, but word has come that Welrin has been conquered. I would like to see this with my own eyes.